Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to talk a little bit about undercover forensics and how the two worlds collide: undercover work, covert operations, and the world of forensics. And yeah, how they help each other out, how they both are used separately and together to help law enforcement. And before we do that, we're going to go over a couple examples from the last topic we were covering, a couple case studies of DNA evidence being used wrongfully and how it led to wrongful convictions. Some real life examples where DNA evidence was used incorrectly would be first the case of Gary Dotson. In the late 1970s, Gary Dotson was convicted of SA based primarily on witness testimony. Years later, DNA testing on evidence that was collected from the crime scene exonerated him, proving he was not the perpetrator. Dotson spent over 6 years in prison for a crime he did not commit, highlighting the dangers of relying too heavily on non-DNA evidence. The case of Kirk Bloodsworth. Kirk Bloodsworth was wrongfully convicted of murder in 1985 based on eyewitness testimony. He spent nearly 9 years in prison before DNA evidence cleared him in 1992. His case was one of the first in the U.S. to use DNA to exonerate a convicted individual, demonstrating how powerful DNA can be, but also how easily individuals can be wrongfully convicted without it. Third, the case of the Beltway sniper. In 2002, a man was wrongfully arrested in connection with the Beltway sniper attacks based on a DNA match that later proved to be a false positive. This misidentification led to significant media attention and distress for the innocent individual before the true perpetrators were caught. So a false positive there. Now, based off that, just in conclusion, there's a need for caution and accountability. These examples remind us of the importance of caution and accountability in using DNA evidence. While it's a powerful tool for law enforcement, it should not be viewed as a catch-all solution. That's important. Proper protocols must be followed in evidence collection and analysis to ensure accuracy. Additionally, ongoing training for forensic analysts is essential to minimize human error and maintain the integrity of the process. While DNA evidence has undoubtedly advanced forensic science, it's crucial to recognize its flaws and shortcomings. Contamination, interpretation challenges, familial searching issues, and human error all play a role in the potential for wrongful arrests and convictions. So next, I just wanted to cover that briefly. Next, we're going to talk about, like I said, undercover operations and forensics combining. Understanding undercover operations. Undercover ops involve law enforcement officers or informants posing as regular citizens to gather intelligence and evidence on criminal activities. These operations can be crucial in infiltrating criminal organizations, drug trafficking rings, or gangs. The forensic aspect comes into play when undercover agents collect evidence that can later be analyzed, documented, and presented in court. This evidence can range from physical items like drugs, weapons, to audio and video recordings that capture illegal activities. This information gathered can significantly impact investigations and prosecutions. The role of covert operations in forensics. Covert ops are carefully planned missions where agents work in secrecy to observe, record, and sometimes engage with suspects. This can provide a wealth of forensic information that traditional methods might miss. For example, undercover operations can yield critical evidence such as 1. Witness accounts. Agents can directly observe criminal activities and gather first-hand accounts that are vital for building a case. 2. Physical evidence. Items obtained during the operation can serve as forensic evidence, like drugs, firearms, or stolen goods. 3. Recorded evidence. Audio and video recordings can capture conversations and activities that reveal the nature of the criminal operation. We're going to dive into some case studies. Case study 1, the Operation Blue Angel. One notable example is Operation Blue Angel, conducted by the LAPD in the early 2000s. That's the Los Angeles Police Department in the early 2000s. The operation targeted drug trafficking in the city. Undercover agents posed as buyers to infiltrate drug deals. During these operations, they collected various types of evidence, including 1. Controlled buys. Agents purchased illegal drugs, which were then analyzed by forensic labs to confirm their composition and quantity. This provided irrefutable evidence of drug trafficking activities. 2. Surveillance footage. Covert video recordings captured the drug transactions, showing the methods used by dealers and the involvement of various suspects. This evidence was crucial for building a solid case against multiple individuals. The successful gathering of forensic evidence through undercover work led to several arrests and dismantled significant drug trafficking networks in the area in LA County. Case study number 2, the Operation Sea Chase. Another example is Operation Sea Chase, which focused on a major organized crime group involved in human trafficking. In this operation, undercover agents posed as clients seeking services. During the operation, agents gathered important forensic evidence, including 1. Documented transactions. Agents recorded conversations and transactions related to the trafficking activities. This documentation helped establish patterns and connections between suspects and the criminal organization. 2. Physical evidence. Items like the communication devices and documents were seized during the operation. Forensic analysis of these materials provided insight into the operational structure of the trafficking ring. The intelligence and evidence collected during Operation Sea Chase were instrumental in prosecuting several key figures within the organization, highlighting the effectiveness of undercover operations in obtaining critical forensic evidence. Case study number 3, the Operation Bodega. Operation Bodega was another successful undercover operation aimed at curbing illegal firearm sales. In this case, agents posed as interested buyers. Throughout the operation, the undercover agents gathered significant evidence. 1. By purchasing firearms. Agents successfully bought illegal guns, which were then examined by forensic experts. The analysis revealed the source and serial numbers, helping to track the origins of the firearms. 2 would be audio recordings. Conversations with sellers were recorded, capturing discussions about illegal firearm sales and connections to larger trafficking networks. This evidence played a vital role in prosecuting the individuals involved. Now, the operation not only led to arrests but also helped to close numerous illegal firearm distribution channels, showcasing how undercover work can serve as a form of forensic investigation. Now we're going to dive into some of the ethical considerations to think about. While undercover operations can yield valuable evidence, they also raise some ethical questions. The methods used to gather information must balance effectiveness with respect for individuals' rights. Transparency, and accountability are crucial in ensuring that these operations do not lead to violations of privacy, or entrapment. In conclusion, undercover, covert, and informant operations play a significant role in forensic investigations. They provide crucial evidence that can help law enforcement dismantle criminal networks and bring offenders to justice. The intelligence gathered through these operations often complement traditional forensic methods, creating a more comprehensive approach to solving crimes. Now, I want to dive into some of the risks of undercover work and talk a little bit more about the role of DNA in forensics. Undercover work is inherently risky. Agents often find themselves in unpredictable and potentially dangerous situations. Here are some of the main dangers they face. Well, first would be the threat of violence. Undercover agents may infiltrate dangerous criminal organizations. If they're discovered, they could face serious threats to their safety. Criminals often react violently when they suspect someone is working with law enforcement. Next, there's loss of identity. Living undercover means agents may need to assume false identities for extended periods. This can lead to emotional and psychological stress as they constantly navigate the challenges of maintaining a cover story. Then there's legal risks. Undercover work can sometimes blur the lines of legality. Agents may find themselves in situations where they have to make quick decisions that could have legal consequences. Navigating these situations requires careful judgment and training. Challenges of collecting forensic evidence as an informant. I want to talk about that a little bit. Informants also face significant challenges in gathering forensic evidence. Here are a few key difficulties. First, there's limited access. Informants may not always have direct access to critical evidence. They often rely on what they can observe or hear, which may not be enough to build a strong case. Then there's credibility issues. Informants' credibility can come into question if they have a criminal background or are seen as unreliable. Their testimony or evidence may be dismissed in court. Next, there's the risk of exposure. Collecting evidence puts informants at risk of being discovered by criminal elements. If their identity is revealed, they could face retaliation, making it crucial for them to operate discreetly. Physical evidence limitations. Unlike forensic experts, informants may lack the training to collect or preserve physical evidence properly. This can lead to contamination or degradation of evidence, making it less useful for legal proceedings. DNA technology has significantly changed the landscape of forensic evidence and has helped mitigate some of the risks associated with undercover work. Here's how. Accurate identification. DNA evidence provides a reliable way to link suspects to crimes, reducing the reliance on witness testimony or informant accounts. This means that even if an informant's information is uncertain, DNA can bolster the case. Next, there's less pressure on informants. With DNA tech, law enforcement can often gather critical evidence independently, lessening the pressure on informants to collect or directly handle forensic evidence themselves. Third, there's the closure of cold cases. DNA analysis can help solve cold cases, making it easier for law enforcement to focus on previously unlinked suspects. Next, there's increased conviction rates. The reliability of DNA evidence can lead to higher conviction rates, making it easier for law enforcement to secure justice without placing informants in harm's way. So just to summarize, undercover work and informant ops are fraught with danger and challenges. Agents and informants face risks ranging from threats of violence to legal complications and difficulties of collecting reliable evidence. However, advancements in DNA tech have made significant strides in lessening these burdens, providing a powerful tool for law enforcement. Thanks for watching.